and you are fed multiple paths that can take you through the asteroid field. These are kind of not consistent paths. These are clearly mathematically worked out by the Mechanicus on an ongoing basis to allow people entry and exit, especially for ships of your size. You're not a full bulk hauler. It would be more limiting in ways you could get into the system otherwise, but you're in that kind of not quite the smallest ship, but you're not a cruiser. Like, you have a lot more flexibility to be able to make your way in. There's a central star. You can see that there are the 4 planets of the system inside the asteroid field as you move. The asteroids are dense. Some of them are larger, moving more slowly. There are smaller ones that are moving rapidly. You're not sure what the amount of collisions you're seeing around you, how quickly this field breaks down, or how it formed. There clearly was something here. Perhaps there was a 5th planet. Perhaps there was more that contributed to this field on an ongoing basis. But can you roll me a perception? And is anybody else in the cockpit watching this, or are you all just kind of preparing?
I think Damien might be in the cockpit just for fear of this asteroid field being something that might crush us, and he might want to try and generate a shield around the ship again.
I will give you advantage, Morgan, for the ship's instruments.
Ooh. I'll take it.
Yeah, good. You got something.
Perception.
I got a 5.
Got a 24.
Hell yeah.
24. Wow. All right. As you're making your way through, you're able to see on the sensors that there are a number of mining colonies set up on the larger asteroids, but they are set up in interesting ways. There are ships that almost look, as you see them on the ground, it almost looks squid-like, where the long ship has landed vertically down and pincer-like legs have dropped out from the bottom. You could see crews, especially on sensors more so than physically see, working on these kind of thrusting prongs down into these asteroids, and it's clear they are aware that collisions can occur here. These ships are shielded enough that small asteroids, particles, are being cleared up by shield generators, but the ships themselves can pull off with the full mining activity and reattach to different spaces as required to allow them a certain amount of functionality. This is a level of tremendously high investment you normally do not see in the equipment. The Imperium tends to be very brutal in the idea of, like, lives are cheap, do the cheap and easy thing, but there are so many collisions here that they can't do low investment mining. It's not possible, which means whatever is being mined here must be tremendously valuable, and they've invested a lot in the ships to be able to get it back and forth. The fact that, from what you'd heard from Avarice and what you would have read in files as you were closing in on the system, the fact that there is still a temperate climate on a central smelting planet means the amount of money being traded here is astronomical, because maintaining a planet's climate is usually beyond any planet's worthwhile investment. The average planet, there's like, let it run into a hellhole. Its job is to be a smeltery. Clearly there's something more going on with whatever is being mined. You are seeing a number of tugs in and around this asteroid field as well, where they are smaller ships, and not quite a fighter, not quite a bomber. Probably the crew of about 5 would be the estimate when you're looking at their sizing. You rolled really well.
Yay.
These are using harpoon guns and small teams of them to fire kind of like grapples at a ship scale into asteroids, and then working as teams to spin them away from mining operations.
Wow.
It is incredible for you to watch these small ship teams of 3 to 5 tugs to move a massive asteroid. The precision required to do this is people have got to have been doing this their entire life to be able to move things this size, this scale, this sensitively, and communicate and do it effectively, because it requires perfect teamwork to be able to do it. You would expect these tugs to be exploding and to not be able to move asteroids. You just fire torpedoes into them if you need to get rid of them at like a ship level. But this is clearly specialist work that is tremendously valuable. As you are flying through this asteroid field, the servitors are doing the bog standard route towards the central planet Ravenstrike. Is there anything you want to do outside of that as the Lucky Strike? You know the beacon is on the central planet, the emergency beacon that was set off. You do know pirate activity occurs out here in the asteroid field, as well as a movement towards the central planet. Just, is there anything you want to do to try to reach out to anyone in particular?
I think Morgan would love to generally scan the comms, because Morgan, besides just knowing Glossia, also knows Rogue Trader codes and Rogue Trader talking. So if there are any other Rogue Traders around, or have gone through the system recently, or any of the chatter, basically just going through the open radio chatter, besides the emergency beacon, like, is there any other talk in the air leading up to that place?
Fabulous. Roll me. What do you think would be your use of comms? It's an interesting question. Perception through the ship would be an option. I would also say deception, your ability to just pick up on lies being told or secret,
Yeah.
unspoken things being said.
No, that'd be perfect because obviously anyone could look at the readout of what is there, but she's looking for something beyond that, something that's between the lines of maybe people talking about what's going on without talking about it openly.
Fantastic. So let's roll a deception. It's your ability to spot other people's deceptions on the comms.
Great. Oh my god. It's like 25?
25. Okay. Jesus. Oh my god.
Give me the juice. Fotobox längre framme.
Oh my god.
Give me the
It's like,
juice.
let me just read off of my
She
feet.
learns where all the pirates are from.
Yeah, what about these pirates?
It is clear from the comms chatter you're picking up between the asteroid field and the planet as you begin to clear the asteroid field and move out. On the planet, something is going on in the capital. You're hearing references to violence, military action, people being taken, people disappearing. You're not sure exactly what it is. It's not ultra clear. A lot of the comms coming out of there are just much more coded than you would ever have expected.
Okay.
You're also getting a number of things that have been locked down in terms of general comms, where you're not getting government statements. You're not picking up a lot of local politics. That's all been locked down. There's also a bit of a dead zone right now between the asteroid field and the planet. You're not getting any comms. You're not hearing any bulk haulers going back and forth. It's clear stuff is being put together, but also based on the comms, you're the first rogue trader to have been here in a couple months. It seems like they smelt a bunch, do one big lift, and it goes. You're here in the off season functionally.
Okay.
Mining activities are continuing to get them materials as they go, but it's not active right now. It seems like everything is on pause in an unsettling way. And with the skies being clear, your guess is there's not a ton of pirate activity here. They may be hiding out in the asteroid field, or they're down on the planet's surface with whatever's going on. There's nothing to cover them currently.
Just for my own clarity. So this asteroid field, the tuggers move the asteroids out of the way. They break some of the stuff down on these little planetary stations outside the asteroid field, and they bring it down to smelt it on the planet.
Correct. So there are, inside the asteroid field, so you hit this kind of central gap as you escape its limits into the center of the system. You can see there are a number of space stations in from the asteroid field. That's where the raw materials are being delivered to from mining ships. Again, it takes you a while to get through this field, which is why you're able to get all this information. It's not like, and magically you're there. I'm just telling you way too much. No, you've got the time to be able to take this in, the instruments to be able to pull it together. Something is clearly going on in the capital city. It's affecting things at a government level, but also a civilian level with the amount of muted comms. And with the dead space, there's no room for pirates to cover any activity they're doing. They can get raw materials and hide it in the asteroid field, but they can't get it to the planet, and odds are they can't get it to the black market.
Can we assume these tug ships that pull all of these asteroids out, they're manned by servitor pilots, I would assume?
With the level of expertise that Morgan was seeing, these are actual pilots. It's too fine work. It requires too much teamwork and coordination for servitors to be able to do it fast enough.
Yeah. And is the judge up there looking at the information in the front? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I was lubing up my Mastiff, just making sure he was battle ready. But once we approach my peripheries, all of this outside stimuli starts moving into my periphery, and I move ahead to check.
Say, whenever you've gazed out into space or seen a new situation, you've usually shared a few lines of poetry. I'd love to know what you were inspired to say from Lucius Stanchion's Forbidden Words.
Rock here, bold there, floating through the floaty air. Hold on, I have my mask partially off.
I hope these rocks don't hit our heads, otherwise we all shall be dead.
Morgan is just.
And dead is bad. Makes me sad. For you can never, ever be glad. Finish.
It's like Thank you, Damien. It seems that whatever this emergency beacon is for is something very dangerous. All of the comms from the planet, all of the government messaging, nothing is coming through. It has gone almost dark, which is why the pirates are not continuing their activity. We will have to proceed with caution.
What's your plan?
We have to get down there to the planet to see more.
Understood. I will follow your lead.
So, the cover story is a rogue trader vessel responding to the distress beacon?
Exactly that.
Alright.
Yes, so the rogue trader charter is getting them through closer to the planet, but are they able to just hail down to the planet and be like, we are responding to your emergency call?
You've already been invited to the capital city. The
Perfect.
moment you entered system, it was auto-flagged that you had showed up in response to the emergency beacon, and you had been cleared to go through the asteroid field and to land in Raven's Rest.
Great. And we are going to land, we're going to take the L1 out, or is this supposed to be, I can't remember if our ship is supposed to only stay in space or land.
Your ship has the ability to land, it just doesn't have the ability to do it super cleanly or quickly. So it's more a question of your approach, if you want to take the whole ship down, or if you want to take L1.
Yeah, I don't think we want to take the whole ship down, as long as there's a safe orbit that we can leave the ship in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The capital planet of the Hawkstar system is well enough away from the asteroid
That
field that
was
you
my
can absolutely
concern,
just float there. You can take up a geosynchronous orbit.
Perfect. So we're gonna, everyone get to the L1.
I'm gonna try and whistle through this mass and realize my fingers don't, like, they just bounce off the metal plating.
Yep.
Come on, let's do. Time to go onto the L1.
You all move into L1, and you make your way down to the planet's surface. Morgan, are you piloting, or are you letting a servitor do it?
I think it's the same thing. She's gonna let the servitor do it, but she's going to stay at watch. So she's gonna probably sit in the co-pilot
Yep.
seat, so that she can take over if need be, but she's gonna stay up there and watch.
That makes sense. You've got the rest of your crew behind you as you soar down towards this planet. Everyone else is strapped in comfortably. It's a smooth enough flight once you clear the atmosphere that you are able to walk around and kind of do whatever you need to do. We've got Rex 2. Romeo would just be flying. He's got anti-grav generators, so he's stable. As you make your way and clear the clouds, you see a beautiful vista below you. There's grass, there are trees, there are lakes, just kind of an unheard amount of I guess, greenery and general pleasantry. Judge, this sounds like a fantasy. You've never seen places that are this nice, but you've had your estate. You've had places where it's been manicured but not natural. Oh, you're on a planet. Oh, there are trees, there are this, but it's an artificially constructed forest. It's the extreme wealthy creating nature to show off nature or experience nature. Whereas this is as far as the eye can see outside of this capital city. You are seeing beautiful land, water, other things. Damien, this is the kind of promised land that you have been told Terra once looked like.
I've never seen this in real life
No.
ever. No.
No, this is staggeringly beautiful to you. Solomon, this is just a place. Cool. It's standard. It's not quite as nice as Jericho. You aren't seeing as many, wheat fields and Grox farms and the other things, but this kind of pastoral beauty is very within your realm. Morgan, I don't actually know how this would hit you as you're flying down. The city itself is it's an odd shape. You can see that it's clearly built on top of existing structures or ruins that were already here. It's a lot of sandstone, basalt. You're seeing kind of like pale but warm structures and buildings, some towers, a lot of rounded edges, but in a human way. It's not speaking to Xenos. It's just that kind of like softer design philosophy with a large wall outside the edge of the city, but with numerous gates. It's clearly just to delineate city and not city. It's not that this is a fortress in a traditional sense, but it clearly holds thousands and thousands and thousands of people. We're talking a large city center at the core of this, with landing pads around north, east, south, and west of the city, capable of handling way bigger ships than even the Lucky Strike. We're talking the biggest bulk haulers coming down to go back up, none of which are present currently. You are the ship that is landing that looks foreign. Otherwise, you're seeing some traffic that would match the mining ships you'd seen above, a couple of tugs. Like, it's clear that this is still a working port, but everything else is grounded. You're not seeing anything in the skies other than there are a few fighters that are circling. You feel them ping the L1 as you're traveling towards the city, but not stop. That stands out as a little bit odd to have active military flights over a city of this type in this pleasant a setting,
Yeah.
but that is what you were seeing. Morgan, how are you feeling flying down to this world?
Oh, it's given Morgan a little bit of a sick feeling in her stomach, because this definitely reminds her of the planet that she grew up on.
Oh.
Lucky.
Yeah. So, trying to keep her eye on the prize of, we just have to figure out what is going on here, and we have to figure out what the emergency is without getting distracted by any of her personal feelings.
Okay. You're just taking that all in, trying to lock in. Can you roll me an insight?
That's a 21.
God damn.
21, you lock it down. When you want to focus on the mission and turn off those feelings, you are able to do that. You will unpack that stuff later. That does not need to be unpacked today.
Yep.
An L1 lands at the station that had been allotted for it at the southern end of the city. You land and you all go to step forth. You've had your approvals, everything is in place. The back gate of L1 lowers down with the steaming hiss that we all expect from a sci-fi franchise as it lowers down to hit the ground, and the four of you stride out. We see Captain Morgan Sharp in the lead with your Mind Impulse unit on display and your massive cravat and bow, just looking so much fancier and so much more menacing than Morgan usually plays. There is the Grox leather-clad champion, just a bulky form shambling forwards with leaving no one any idea of what lies underneath. There is the swaggering desperado that is not swaggering, Damien, walking out just like Damien normally would, but in a fancier, cool guy outfit, followed by the cannon and Rex 2, this menacing giant threat. And you all step out of the steam of this gate lowering and step down onto the surface of the planet, whose gravity is human norm. This is functionally the same for you. And as you step down, the steam clears and you find yourselves facing 5 gun servitors with their heavy bolters aimed and traced. Perfect laser sights on each of you.
This episode of Agents of the Inquisition features the voices of Del Borovic, Guy Bradford, Josh Halbert, and Tyler Hewitt, alongside Dungeon Master Ryan LaPlante. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Agents of the Inquisition's artwork was created by Del Borovic. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Cheaps by Jazzar, whose music was provided by freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. If you want to support the show or get an ad-free version, go to dumdumdice.com/join. That's dumbdice.com/join. Again, that's dumdumdice.com/join. Though the team is working under special condition, this podcast isn't. So tell your friends about Agents of the Inquisition and join us next episode. Robute Gilliman himself commands it.
Til dere som beslutningstagere der ute, at det kommer mer fasit herfra. Så det bare å fortsette å høre på og ta ad notam og ad hoc og ad alt mulig. Det vi sier.
For jeg gleder meg så fælt ennå til de tar kontakt fra leksikon og sier, kan du være så snill å stille opp som idealkropp for det nye bildet vi skal ha av mennesket i vår neste utgivelse.
Så vi skal sende ut i verdensrommet tilfelle det kommer noen aliens, så vi kan forklare hvordan vi ser ut.
Ja, svaret mitt blir nei. Det kan jeg ikke. Såpass mye skal jeg.
Oh my god, vi kjører.
Nei, jeg har ikke tid nå. Nå skal jeg bare gå ut og surfe. Damer.
Det er fredag, Atle, og vet du hva det betyr?
Ja.
Jepp. Quiz.
Ja, det betyr quiz. Det gjør ikke alltid det, dessverre.
Nei, det
Men det er deilig når anledningen byr seg.
Men nå betyr det quiz, så da er det bare å spisse ører, følge med. Jeg føler at quizen er godt innenfor tradisjonen av misjonens gode quizer. Vi skal, Atle, er du klar? Fredrik Solberg.
Er det noen parkering jeg kan stå på her, da?
Ja vel.
For de som som fulgte med på debatten i går, la merke til at Fredrik Solvang slo over til engelsk.
Ja, jeg fikk ikke setninger, du slo over til engelsk.
Ja da, han slo over til engelsk.
God i engelsk, han.
Vi får se. Det kan jeg ikke svare på, da det ville gjort quizen litt for enkel. Quizen er følgende spørsmål. Hvilken og hvordan tror du engelsken til Fredrik Solvang på gårsdagens debatten var? Trenger du noe mer info?
Ja, du kan få noen eksempler.
Nei.
Nei, ok.
Men du skal få alternativer.
Ok, kan du gjenta spørsmålet?
Ja.
Hvordan tror du...
Hvilken engelsk dialekt? Og tror du den var perfekt utført eller ikke? Quiz.
Akkurat.
Fredrik Solvang i debatten.
Jeg trenger alternativer, merker jeg. Jeg så ikke debatten.
Tror du den var A, sørstatsamerikansk, nest som hillbilly-engelsk, vanskelig å forstå?
Altså litt Louisiana, liksom? Ja, nå kom det med eksempler. Du lovte ikke komme med eksempler.
Nei, jo, men det er viktig at folk skjønner quizen.
Ja,
det var
det er enig.
B, tror du det var Jens Stoltenberg-engelsk? Altså 100% norsk med engelske ord?
Ja.
Tror du det var C, italiensk?
Italiensk. Ikke engelsk, bare italiensk.
Bare dropper engelsk.
Italiensk.
Jeg ser ikke at den...
Det er et veldig godt valg, jo, men det er et alternativ. Hva var det? Var det et alternativ X?
C.
C? Det var C.
Ja.
Ok.
Tror du det var alternativ F?
Tror du engelsken hans var italiensk?
Men det er viktig å ha.
Det er viktig å ha med.
Det er viktig å ha med alternativer.
Når jeg nå etterpå skal bruke elimineringsmetoden, så er det viktig å ha noe å eliminere.
Ja, da er det. Tror du det var alternativ F? Perfekt Oxford-engelsk utført med tweed?
There are some embassies, it seems like.
Eller tror du det var alternativ 7, som var av den franske versjonen? But of course.
Det må jeg si hadde vært jævlig deilig hvis han hadde en ordentlig fransk engelsk. Lavete fransk engelsk.
Fawlty Towers.
Det hadde vært et eventyr hvis det var engelsken hans. Og jeg har så lyst til å svare de alternative 7 bare fordi jeg håper det så sterkt at da blir det altså. Men sannsynligvis jeg tipper at engelsken hans ikke var italiensk. Det er sånn jeg går rett på sak.
Det har du rett.
Og så tviler jeg dessverre på at det ikke var underholdende fransk-engelsk.
Nei, det var ikke det, faktisk. Men det er sånn at...
Men allikevel, han er jo distingvert herremann, og du får jo at han har vært rundt, så jeg har ikke noe tro på at han snakker som Jens Stoltenberg.
Nei, jeg kan gi deg enda litt tips. Nå glemmer du altså, dette er mannen som har vært i offentlig krangel om man skal ha enkel- eller dobbeltvinnsorkvote på slipset.
Ja. Neida, det er mye som sier meg nå at det er den britiske stiffa på lipp-engelsken Oxford-aktig.
Alternativ F.
Ja, var det F?
Ja, det var F, tror jeg.
Da er det F. Jeg vil ikke få feil bare for å si feil bokstav.
Nei.
Men svaret mitt er Oxford-engelsk.
Ja,
det var riktig. Det var det. Det var det. For det er ofte litt flaut. Sånn som Fredrik Skavlan, han la seg jo ned et par nivåer da han snakket engelsk, for ikke å fremstå som
Well, I have arrived at the